Thanks a lot for joining me. This lesson is by request from you guys. We're going to look at I'll Get You by the Beatles. If you're already subscribed, thanks a lot for your support and appreciate you tuning in. If this is your first time, my name is Jimmy, and on this channel we do gear videos, technique lessons, and song lessons just like this one. So if you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing. Now at any point during the video, you can check the lesson plan in the description box below. There you'll find equipment details, tips and tricks, along with timestamps so that you can skip to different parts of the video. Now, like we mentioned before, we're going to look at I'll Get You by the Beatles, and this was a request by you guys. So thanks a lot for your comments, and as always, put your comments down there and leave some requests or other thoughts on the videos. Now, the song is in the key of D, and we're going to look at two different rhythm guitar parts. The first will be a rhythm guitar part featuring open chords and an overview of the entire chord progression and arrangement. And then we'll look at the focused rhythm guitar part with that rock rhythm on the power chords. So let's go to the close-up and check it out. Okay, so like we said, we're going to break down two rhythm guitar sections for the song. We'll feature one with open chords and the full chord progression so that you can see the arrangement together. And then the other one is going to be the one that's predominantly heard with that rock rhythm. So we're going to feature that one in a minute. Now, real briefly, the song is in the key of D. And the intro is really just the bass and the hand claps, but it's a D and then an A. And then we're into a verse. Now the verse is 16 bars long. Let me show you the chords that we're going to need for the verse. We need an open D, open G, A major, a B minor, and also an A minor. So let's break up the verse into two sections. So the strum pattern is going to kind of follow the snare drum in the song, and you want to stick close to that rhythm. Giving it those accents. So let's break down the verse into those two sections. First we have 2 bars of D, a G, and then an A. Then we're going to go D, B minor, G, and A. So this is the part, imagine I'm in love with you, it's easy, because I know. I've imagined I'm in love with you many times before. So at rhythm, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first half of the verse. Second half of the verse features more or less the chorus section, you could call it. It's where those lyrics are repeated, and we're going to build into that section going from 1 bar of D and 1 bar of A minor, D, and then B minor, and then we finish out with a G, A, D, A. Now the key to this is as we build into that section where the lyrics are repeated each time, same lyrics for each verse, we are going to move away from the snare drum pattern, and we're going to go D, A minor. For both of those chords, you're going to have 8th note downstrokes for your strum pattern, because that's going to build into that section. So it sounds like... and then you go back to the regular strum pattern. So this is the part where it's not like me to pretend, but I'll get you in the end. Yes, I will, I'll get you in the end. Oh yeah. So that's the portion that goes over those lyrics. just to review that again, we're building into that section. All downstrokes on the D and A minor. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now those are the two sections that make up your verse. We can put them both together and you get a full verse. Here's how it goes. Starting on the D, 16 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you play two verses, and then you're going to go into the bridge. The bridge is nice. It is featuring a G chord, a D, an E7, and then an A. And I like to add an A7 in there at the end as well, just to transition back into the verse. Not mandatory, but it's a cool addition. So the verse is 2 bars of G, 2 bars of D, 2 bars of E7, and then 1 bar of A and A7. And at the end of the bridge, you can hear the bass go down, which you can match if you want. It descends down the scale. A, G, F sharp, E, and then we move into the verse. So here's how the bridge sounds all together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back into a verse. Now if you want to add that doubled bass part, here's how it sounds at the end of the bridge, or the whole bridge together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next verse. The ending is an entire verse, and then you're going to repeat the oh yeah section, which is just D, 1 bar of D, 1 bar of A, and then 1 bar of D. And that last D is the one that you just end on. So that's basically all the pieces to the chord progression. Now let's take a look at the featured rhythm guitar part. All right, so now as we look at the featured rhythm guitar part, we keep in mind that chord progression that we used before. That's the basis for the entire song. And now, instead of playing open chords, we're going to focus on our power chords with this rock rhythm here. Sounds a little bit like this. Now, the feature of the rhythm, of course, is that pattern, but we're using all downstrokes on our picking hand with a slight palm mute here. So my palm is just resting on the strings near the bridge instead of letting them ring. Certain points you can ring them a little bit more, but for the focus, I like to just give it just a tiny bit of a mute. So the pattern here is a power chord adding the pinky 2 frets up. So for example, we have a D5, D power chord, first finger on the A string 5th fret, third finger on the D string 7th fret. There's your power chord, and then you're going to add your pinky on the D string 9th fret. It's going to take a little bit of practice to stretch across these frets, but take your time with it if you're not familiar with this move. If you are, it's going to be no problem for you. But when you're first starting out, this pinky stretch is difficult. And that's your basic rhythm. So you're going to use that pattern on all of the major chords in the verse. All the minor chords in the verse, like the B minor, you're going to skip the pinky move and just use a regular B power chord. And your rhythm would be along the lines of for the minor chords. So we can break down the verse again in those two sections. The first section, 2 bars of D, a G, A, 1 bar of D, 1 bar of B minor, G, A. And you'll see that all of these are focused around those power chord shapes. So here we go with the major chords using the pinky, minor chords, no pinky. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your first half of the verse with that featured pattern. Now we go into the second half of the verse, and remember with the other rhythm guitar part we said the first section we want to build into those repeated lyrics. So this is a D, A minor, D to B minor, then G, A, and then D. But that first part where we're building into it, we're going to use all downstrokes and we're going to skip the pinky move again. So the D, A minor, here it is, those 8th note downstrokes to build the tension. And that's your second half of the verse. Now put both halves of the verse together, and you have your 16-bar form. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the entire verse with the featured rhythm guitar part. Now for the bridge, again we're using these power chord sections over the major chords. So we're going to do a G to a D. Now here's where we change a little bit. We're going to go to an E7, which is a C7 using all 4 fingers moved up with your root or your ring finger at the 7th fret. And you can strum all 6 strings here if you want. So that second half of the bridge is going to be full chords, basically all downstrokes on your strums. And back into a verse. And again, the tag is just the oh yeah part repeated. And your last chord is just a D. So now we can try playing through the entire arrangement just so that you can get it all together. We'll do it at a decent tempo here. Let's try it from the intro. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the bridge. Tag. So that's a basic approximation of the rhythm guitar part for I'll Get You. There's those patterns, and that's the full arrangement, basically, as recorded. So go ahead and practice those. Make sure you get that pinky stretch down, and I think you're going to get it pretty quick. Alright, so today's topic. What's your favorite album by the Beatles? Let us know in the comments section down below. Let's get the conversation going and see how we can help each other out. Thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, and we'll see you on the next one.